Hi, I'm AKA Social Security, and this is part of the craziest comedy tales off the wall you ever told. And yes, everyone deserves a little Social Security, young and old. And I did this part of a stand-up routine back a few years ago in my first 100 videos. And this is part of my top 10 barflies. This is number 4, Whitey the Bean Picker. A barfly I knew was Whitey. He always acted like he was mad as hell at the freaking world. What a terrible disposition. You know, just miserable. He looked like he was a freaking albino for a white person, like somebody painted him out with white out over. Yes, he was a bean picker by trade. Before we had migrant workers back in the 1960s picking the crops, people like Whitey picked the beans and stuff. Well, I sat down at the bar next to Whitey. I just turned 18. The drinking law was still 18 in New York at the time. And Whitey was sitting next to me. I heard a rumor about him before, but I didn't pay much attention. But the rumor was that he could pick his nose, flip a booger at you before you could even blink an eye. That's how quick his hands were for being in the bean fields all day. Whitey looked at me and he goes, "What are you staring at, kid?" I says, "I'm not staring at you." He says, "You're staring at me." I says, "No, I'm not. I'm not." He says, "Yes, you are. And if you're going to stare at me, I'll stare at you. It might cost you some money. I'll bet you $5 right now that I can outstare you." I didn't know what to think, and I didn't want to argue with Whitey, so I says, "Okay, you're on. I'll get into a staring contest with you for $5. The contest started. We were staring eye to eye, nose to nose with each other, back and forth, just looking at each other, staring at each other, not moving. Little did I know that I was going to get into a trap and caught by Whitey's flying glass eye trick out of his head. I didn't know it at the time. Well, the contest was going. We were staring at each other, just staring at each other back and forth. This went for a good couple of freaking minutes. Then all of a sudden, Whitey goes, his freaking eye pops out of his head, his left eye, out of socket, and it's staring right at me. Of course, I jump back. Whitey says, "You lost. You flinched." I says, "But your damn eye come out of your head, and you caught it." He says, "But it went straight, so you lost." So instead of arguing with him because he started getting really pissy, I thought he wanted to punch me in the mouth, start a fight to get the $5. I just let it go and gave him the damn $5 bill. Whitey's hands were so damn quick when he caught his eye. I can't imagine how fast he picks beans. I mean, it's like, unbelievable. Anyways, Whitey took my $5 I gave him. He folded it up into the size of a freaking nickel. And in his fake eyeball that he had, that popped out of his head, he had a slot like a piggy bank in the back. He folded my $5 bill, my last honest Abe that I had in my pocket, and shoved it in the back in the slot like in a piggy bank, like he was making a deposit at the time. When he got done putting the $5 bill in his eye and secured it, he popped his glass eye back in his head. Boop. And as he was doing it, he securely the vault, as he said. "I got to close the vault," and he put his eye back in. Then Whitey looked at me when he was all done, and he says, "Thank you for your donation to my Bean Picker's Eye Bank, young man. Thank you again." Oh, another month or two went by and I ran into Whitey at the bar. And he had his glass eye out, sitting in a shot glass full of whiskey. I said, "Whitey, what are you doing with your glass eye in the whiskey?" He said, "I'm sterilizing it and trying to get rid of dry eye at the same time. I always do 2 things at once." Another time I ran into Whitey at the bar. And his glass eye was in the shot glass again of whiskey. I said, "What are you doing with your eye in the shot glass again?" He said, "Kid,
I got an awful heavy-ass head today. So I took my eye out to lighten up my head for a while.
Hope you enjoyed it.